Welcome to this presentation about Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. In this presentation, we'll give you a general overview of Microsoft latest ERP for small and medium businesses in the cloud. First of all, thanks for attending. I encourage you to visit us at our YouTube channel. Check out some videos we're going to be publishing there related to both Microsoft Dynamics GP and Microsoft Dynamics Business Central, as well as our website at www.iconsa.net. I'm Thomas Garcia, founder and partner of Icon in Dominican Republic, Icon Business Consulting in Miami, and Cirrus Business Consulting in Parkland. These companies are dedicated and have been dedicated since 1993 to doing Microsoft Dynamics consulting. We are also certified professionals and credentialed professionals by the Association of Dynamics Professionals. There's my LinkedIn link in case you want to contact me that way. Today's agenda is going to be information packed. First of all, we'll give you an overview of Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. We'll talk about the modules and included functionalities in this product. We will give you a live general product usage tour so you can check out Business Central. We'll talk about pricing and licensing, and as well as I'll give you my take on how to implement this product and what to expect in your company, as well as how to buy Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. So first of all, let's talk about what is Business Central. Business Central is the next generation ERP for Microsoft, designed for small and medium businesses, and also part of the Dynamics 365 family of products. It is completely cloud-based, so there's nothing to install or hardware to be provided at your company. And it includes all the functionalities you would expect on major financial and operational areas of your company. Specifically for small and medium businesses, you'll be hard pressed to find a product that offers more functionality in more areas than this product. It's also integrated with all Microsoft 365 products, also known as Office 365 in the past. So this is a very well designed and integrated product from the ground up, designed to work with other Microsoft 365 services such as Outlook, email, of course, Office products such as Word, Excel, and also the newest services and applications such as Power Apps, Microsoft Flow, and those things. It is subscription based as far as the model that is used for licensing the product. So it would be a month-to-month subscription, just like most other Microsoft 365 products. Functionalities included in Business Central are many, actually, and some of them depend a little bit on the type of users. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Generally speaking, you will have full general ledger functionality that uses dimensions to capture information across different types of products, departments, and that type of thing. It also features full accounts payable, accounts receivable functionality, consolidations among companies, intercompany transactions. It is fully multi-currency, provides a complete cash management module, which includes online banking tools. Also in the sales and purchasing, receiving areas, it's fairly complete as a product. It will allow you to handle your inventory for stock and or services, as well as project and timesheets, fixed assets, workflows, and assemblies. It does feature some warehouse management functionality, serial and lot tracking as well, and OCR doc management if you choose to turn on that functionality. Some basic human resources capabilities are built in, and as I said before, full Microsoft 365 integration. As far as the Essentials license we'll talk about, the basic license will include all of those functionalities I've just mentioned. And if you do need manufacturing and or service management, you have a license available that also includes, it's a premium license that will include those two modules. I'd like to point out that these are all just the tip of the iceberg. Under all of these functionalities, there's a lot of individual granular functions that you can do. So the system is really, really very, very flexible. And without further ado, let's go to show you Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. So this is the interface of Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. As you can see, it offers you, this in fact is what we call the role center page. It is designed to fit a specific role that has been assigned to my user. For example, I'm logged in as the business manager role, so it will have access to different areas of the system as an overview of what's going on. And all of the menus and widgets and numbers that you see on the screen are kind of pre-formatted for the business manager role, which I happen to have assigned on my license. You can change your role very easily. As you'll see, it's very flexible. There's many things you can change. There's a settings option here where you can really change your roles. There's many roles available that you can choose from, and different roles will show you different things on the screen. I'm just going to keep this one for the demo. So the role center again has the main menus at the top. This is considered to be like the entry page, the main page. You can see other items here in the menu, which are your go-to items. These are the presumably the most used items. You can also change and put in there the ones you use the most. For example, these timesheets there, it's not normally there. I just added it. It's very easy to change stuff on the screen. We'll show you that a little bit later. You also have some insights here, which will use a little bit of AI to highlight the activities that mean the most for your company. So this is automatic, as well as the actions here, which will show you, will give you an option to, with one click, go to specific pages in the system to do different actions that are supposed to be, or presumably, the ones you would be doing the most. So if I want to create like a sales invoice, I just click here. I'll go directly to the new sales invoice. You can see all of the menus and stuff have the little tooltips that will explain. It's very verbose, so it's really happy showing you everything that every little action does. Below here, there's plenty more stuff to see. You have activities. Will show you some of the key indicators automatically, as well as the widgets will show you documents that are in different stages that you might want to take a look at. By clicking on any of these widgets or clicking on any of these numbers, you will be driven to a drill down with detail of the transactions that make up that number. So if I click on this particular number here, you will see that I'm going to get into a detailed list of invoices that are generating that number that you see there. From this point on, I can see the original amounts, remaining amounts, and so on. I can also click on any of these, and that will get me directly to the invoice so I can see what that is. Very easy to navigate back and forth between windows and pages. There's also the possibility here that you can go to the page menu on any of these lists and basically open in Excel or edit in Excel. These are very practical features. Open in Excel is basically an Excel dump of the data, which is something a lot of people do all the time. And edit in Excel will actually allow you to export this list to Excel and presumably make changes. Those changes will obviously respect all the business rules, so this is not a good example of a page that you would want to modify. These are posted invoices. But if you think about a customer list, it would be very easy to go to the customers, for example, and get the customer list. And at this point, you could go to the page menu and edit this in Excel and make changes very easily to this list of users. Say, I wanna change the status of users, or I wanna add change net terms on users, on customers, and then just save it back from Excel, and it will update your database. Very, very nifty feature there. Anytime you want to go back to the role page, you basically click on the company name, and you will be sent back to the role center page again. So again, all these widgets work the same way. And below that, you have what we call the insights, which is really a little bit of reporting here. This is completely integrated with Power BI, for example, as part of the Microsoft 365 family. And here you can, you have a typical Power BI report, and you can actually go back and forth between different reports here, and basically play with those reports. You can actually see the data here. This is completely Power BI integrated. There's sets of reports that are available for free, and you can just deploy them once you create your company. The system, I should mention, is also multi-company, so you can have as many companies as you need to have, following obviously Microsoft's rules for multi-company management. Again, we have trial balances, favorite accounts, self-service relates to timesheets and approving those timesheets and so on. Here's more Power BI reports for our liking here. So definitely we have all sorts of reporting capabilities built in and presented on the Role Center page. Very, very in-your-face type of design. The design is refreshing, to be honest with you. It navigates very, very well. And it does support any browser that we've tried without any issues. So this is a very modern design that will run on any type of computer or tablet or any other device. There's also an app that you can download, and the app will have pretty much the same access and capabilities that your role and security provides through the app, including transaction or timesheet entry or approving or even, of course, doing inquiries on all sorts of things. So I'll show you a little bit how you can basically customize a little bit the look of this. So if I go, for example, to vendors here, and I wanted to take a look at the vendors, you can see right away most of these lists will show you not only the basic vendor information, but also transactional balances and so on. It works the same way across vendors, items, customers, and so on. Any of these lists, they have the ability to filter, have the ability to change how it looks, but also has the ability by going to personalize here on the gear menu, the ability to actually take on this thing. So if I have balance due, payments, those are interesting things, but I want more. So I can go in there and click on plus field, which means add a field here, and I may want to add other stuff in here like country region code, and just drag it in there and put it in there. It's as simple as that. I can make it smaller or bigger. I can move it around. Whatever I do is user based, and it will apply to your user only, and as long as you're happy with it, system will keep it. There are ways to adding fields that are not even there via a little bit further personalization. That's one level higher, I would say. So all of this is perfectly easy to do, and even on the actual master record. So if I go to one of these vendor records, for example, and this is a typical master card, if you will, for the vendor in this case. There are different we call them fast tabs, different areas that you can fill out specific information, very detailed. If you want to change anything there, you can definitely personalize this too. And every section will have the ability to allow you to add or take fields out. So if you don't want to use this IC partner code, for example, you can definitely, if you're using a company, for example, it's not important to you, you can hide that, and it basically goes back to the additional fields list and gets out of the way. So very, very customizable and very easy to do these things without necessarily the interaction of IT personnel. I also want to take the opportunity to show you the details box here. it will show you statistics for the vendor. It will show you widgets specific to this vendor. For example, a number of product invoices and receipts, for example. And of course, if you click on those, it'll take you to a list that shows you those 18 invoices, for example. It shows you some of the basic statistics, and also allows attachments. This also applies to any transaction in the system, so you can you can attach all sorts of documents to transactions if you want to. So I'll show you a little bit of the basic functions of the system, more so that I'm doing right now. So we'll start going back to the role center page and going back to my chart of accounts. Now, the chart of accounts, of course, will have a list of accounts, but in this case, it will also show you group accounts or groupings, and it will show you balances for the main accounts. And of course, you guessed it. So if I go here, say to the payables, accounts payable, if I click there, of course, I'll be taken to a list of transactions that have affected that account. And these are effectively journal entries. And you can see it's filtered by that account number. We can play with filters as well. Filters are very, very flexible. You can put in ranges and wildcards and stuff like that there, and it will do the filter and searching the way you expect. And of course, you can also navigate. So if we have this entry here and you're questioning this particular amount, which seems high or whatever, you can definitely go to Actions, Navigate, and it will bring up all of the related records in the system that relate to that GL entry. So in this case, there's a posted purchase invoice, of course, and I'm going to basically drill down to that particular invoice, and this is where that amount comes from, which includes taxes, by the way. So that's kind of how you navigate on this list. Again, the lists are completely, you can sort by many of these fields. You can filter, as I said. So it's pretty easy to work with this chart of accounts, for example. Now you'll see that in particular the chart of accounts is showing only the account number. That is the way it is. If you have things, you want to track things like product lines, departments, that type of thing, you would use what we call dimensions. Now, dimensions are set up in the system, or can be set up. So I can go to a Tell Me box. This is another feature I wanted to show you anyway. The Tell Me box is really how you quickly go somewhere that you might not necessarily remember where it is and how to get to. So if I say dimensions here, I don't even have to type the whole thing. It will basically show me all of the options by just typing, even a partial, even sometimes mistyping the word will get you where you want, by the way. It uses a little bit of AI to help you with that. So we can go to the dimension setup here if I wanted to. It will show you pages and tasks, it will show you reports and analysis, and it will show you also documentation. Pretty easy to actually look things up that you might not otherwise know where it is. So if I click on dimensions here, you'll see that we have certain dimensions set up. And this is really where the dimensions are set up. And if you go into that dimension, you'll see what we call dimensions values, which can be used. For example, in this case, customer. Customers might be large, medium, small. You may want to classify that and do analysis by that. And that can apply to any account in the system. This would be for probably revenue accounts. So this is really where the power of analysis comes in as far as Dynamics 365 Business Central. I'll show you one more thing before we cut it off. I'm going to go to sales here, and I'm going to basically pull a sales invoice. I'm going to go ahead. There's some unposted sales invoices that are there. I'm going to create a new invoice, show you how easy it is and how nice the interface works. So I'm going to go ahead and create this. When you're looking for a customer, you can type any information from certain fields, like description, name, and so on, or just a customer number, or also you can pull up the entire list if you wanted to. So at this point, I'm going to just choose one customer in particular here by clicking on that number, and you can see it fills up the whole basic information that comes from the customer card as expected, right? And you can put information here, sample invoice, and down here is your lines, right? So you can actually bill items, but you can also bill resources, fixed assets if you're selling them, or just GL accounts. This is mostly used for purchase invoice where you don't have lines necessarily to detail. But let's say we're selling an item here, and again, we can look up items by their number or by name. So if I look for a chair, for example, if I look for chair, we'll get all the chairs. So if I look for a particular chair, I'll get that particular chair I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. Description comes in there. I'm going to type the quantity here, which is going to populate the amounts based on pricing, and of course multiple pricing levels and discount levels, and special pricing can be set up by customer, by item, and so on. Also, you can put here, very useful in my opinion, put comments in here. So so that this will be printed on the invoice and it will look really nice. And when you look into the invoice or look up the invoice later on, you might be reminded. So it's pretty easy to do this. You can definitely email. So you can post and send. For example, you can email this invoice directly, assuming you keep the emails of your customers and vendors and so on. So it will do things like vendor remittances and statements to customers, and of course emailing invoices automatically in PDF. Very cool. You can also print or preview anything you do this. I'm going to just go ahead and test print this to my screen so you see how it looks. All of the formats can be changed, can be modified. You can put, you can put stuff in there like your logo and change the entire. There's multiple choices of basic formatting that you can actually edit and change if you wanted to. So it's pretty cool. You can download here this test or print, and it works really well. So this is your invoice, how easy it is to do it. I'm not going to post it, so when I get out of here, it's going to tell me, are you sure you don't want to post this? I'm going to say yes. It's going to save it there on my list. I'm going to go back to my homepage. So pretty easy to do things just like billing and stuff like that. Yeah, this is a really cool interface, and as you can see, works very, very well. The last thing I want to mention here is reporting. So there is plenty of reporting capabilities. So you can go right here and go for financial statements and look at your balance sheet, your income statement, for example. So if I go there, you will be printing a report. You put your dates and you preview it. You can edit this report. There's a financial report editor built in. It's called Account Schedules, and you go in there and you change how they look. You can also navigate and play with Excel reports. So any of these reports you can run, and they will come out in Excel. It basically downloads an Excel sheet for you where the data is going to be there. So pretty easy to do. It will support other reporting tools. There's several of them in the market. We like Jet Reports, and it works very well with Business Central as well. So this is really cool. You can also do reporting in Power BI, as we said before, which can be displayed directly here, or just standalone in Power BI as well, how you would display Power BI reports anywhere in the system. So yeah, so this is as far as the presentation, as far as I want to take it as an overview. If you have any questions, of course, you can always contact us, and we'll be more than glad to dive in for you. So going back to my presentation, let's talk a little bit about pricing and licensing. So as I said before, this is a subscription model. So you will be entering a month-to-month agreement. And there's basically three types of user licenses. There is the essential user license, there's the premium, and there's team member licensing. So the essentials will basically give you, for $70 a month, everything, most of what you saw. I would say it's 80% of the product's capabilities or more, depending how you look at it. And certainly everything that we mentioned before, except manufacturing and project and field service. Field service. So The Business Central Premium license will give you those extra modules for the users that need it, and yes, you can mix and match users if you wanted to. There's also Central team members. By the way, these licenses are assigned through your Microsoft 365, previously known as Office 365 administration site, and you can actually purchase licenses through your Dynamics partner, and these will come up on Microsoft 365 admin console. You'll be able to assign these licenses the same way you would assign Office licenses in the past. Team member license is a cheap license, really, that allows for read-only capability and approvals, that type of thing. No transactions with this license, but for a lot of people that only run reports or approve things from the workflow, it should be more than enough. There's one more license, which is called a device license. This is fairly recent, where if you have like devices such as barcode readers or app-specific hardware devices that need to log in, those can have special device license, which is actually cheaper than the Essentials as well, but more expensive than the team member license. So how do you implement Business Central? Well, it certainly implements much like any other high-end small medium business ERP software. So there are many features that require, of course, many configurations. So you do need the assistance from a certified partner if you want to be happy and successful with the product. The cost of the implementation will depend on the complexity of your company's processes. What functionalities you intend to use. Are your processes fairly standard or very unique? How many users are going to be trained? Those are things that will have an impact on the price of the implementation. From the point of view of if there are more users, you need more time to train them. If your processes need to be customized, that will add to the cost. But if you keep your transactional processes standard, or if you are like most small businesses, really it's just the same type of processes throughout the company, this will probably be a good fit right from the start. And if that's the case, then obviously the implementation could be relatively easy. There are fixed cost options available for basic implementations, and you can have a good taste of it and maybe adapt to that and see where you can't, and then move on from there. They can go from I would say $5,000 to $25,000 as a number, depending on the complexity. But obviously this is just a typical quote unquote estimate, right? So how do you buy it? Well, we can give you a 30-day trial license. You can get it through your Microsoft 365 partner, via Dynamics partner, and the setup is done, as I said before, under your Microsoft 365 account. If you do not have a Microsoft 365 account, one can be set up for the purpose, so no problem there. And obviously there would be a way of, after the trial license, there would be a way of automatically pay a monthly fee for the number of users you want to have, or an annual payment in some cases as well. So to know more about this, you can visit us at www.iconsa.net or call us. There are the numbers for the countries we actually have offices on. And we'll be more than glad to discuss your needs and talk about your processes further. For now, this is what I wanted to show you today. I hope it was interesting and included information that can help you make a good choice. We are again more than welcome you'll be more than welcome to come over and call us, contact us, and we'll do our best to fulfill your requirements. Have a very great day.